Make a pact to yourself to stay organised, stay on top of your notes and revision, and use this system. And at the end of the year, I solidify it all into one folder. I found these so helpful. I ended up with a really condensed set of notes for every single topic. I wasn't wasting my time carrying around a huge bag filled with everything and all of my notes, which you literally just don't need. To my channel. So with term just around the corner, or many of you already starting school this year, there is no better way to start than organised and prepared. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how I organise my notes and revision resources for sixth form. Now, this system worked so well for me for my A-levels, which were chemistry, biology and maths, but this would literally work for any of your A-levels. I'm going to be using chemistry as an example just because I've already got them all laid out on the floor and ready to show you, but like I said, you can do the same system for any A-level. And if you do like the sound of today's video, then please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps my channel out. And if you are new, I would love if you decided to stick around and subscribe. Here on my channel, we have a little bit of something for everyone, from academia. I'm about to go off to uni, so expect loads of uni content, a little bit of beauty and fashion, as well as vegan lifestyle. So please stick around and I would love to have you join the family. So I'm just going to jump straight in and show you exactly what I did. I'm going to do this step by step so you can follow the exact same system and just get your notes organised. Honestly, one of the most important things to do is to organise your notes. It's going to help you at the end of the year with your exams so much. You can waste so much time organising your stuff right at the end. It can be so stressful, and it is so much better for you and your grades if you just do it as you go along and get organised from the beginning. From the start of term, make a pact to yourself to stay organised, stay on top of your notes and revision, and use this system. So the first thing that you are going to need is just one of these large folders, and this is what I used to put all of my notes into. I started with one per teacher, and then at the end of the year condensed it into one for A2, and then I had the same for AS. For chemistry in particular, what I always like to do is have an organisation of the terms, and then I had a copy of the periodic table, always handy. If you're taking chemistry, it's so important to have as many copies of these as possible. And then of course I had the A-level spec all printed out. These are so handy. And then I had an organisation of all of the different numbers. I didn't actually fill this in because I ended up learning which one was in which section. However, this might be really handy for you to actually fill it in so you know exactly which topic is under where. I kept a copy of any class notes that were handed out. Don't worry, all of my stuff is in blue because I'm dyslexic and I find it a lot easier to be able to read on blue paper, but you just have it on normal paper. But I put a copy of the class notes in here. Again, I put everything into plastic wallets. This just keeps everything neat. It means that if you spill any water on it, it's not going to get damaged, and I just like the look of it, and it means it's really easy to just slot notes into. So any handouts went in here. And then we get on to my class notes. Now, I always hand wrote my class notes, and it's really important to make sure you get down exactly what the teacher is writing. I love using two different colours. So here I used red and black, but you'll see later on I change colours based on the topic. Again, these are just more handouts, and because we are into a new section of the topic, I've changed colours. It just really helps me. It's creative without spending ages, and you can just highlight the really important words in a slightly different colour, and it just makes your notes a lot easier to read. So this is where I kept all of my class notes, and then I separated out each different topic with a divider. So then we were just on to the next topic, and I keep all of the handouts, my handwritten notes, and any practice questions that we do in this big folder, which, like I said, is divided by teacher. And then at the end of the year, I solidify it all into one folder. So you end up with one for the first year of sixth form and another one for the second year. So then with these notes, what I do is I take the CGP guide, my class notes, and the spec to make a really condensed set of notes. These are the handouts that my teachers summarised and gave to us, which was really handy, but you don't need them, so don't worry. So these just need to be as brief as possible, but making sure to keep all of the information that you need in there, which you get from the spec. If it is not on the spec, you don't need to know it, and it doesn't need to be on your notes. But equally, if it is, you need to find it in the CGP guide or in your class notes and write it into your notes. So I ended up with a really condensed set of notes for every single topic, and I wrote these as I went along. It is so important to make sure you organise your revision resources as you go along, because it is literally just going to be way too much to do at the very end. You're going to feel so overwhelmed and just spend forever organising your notes rather than actually learning the content. So I spent maybe an hour or two a week just writing these out as I went, getting all the key information in them, so I actually knew that everything I needed was in here. I then put this into another big folder with any class tests we did and any sets of questions that I felt were important, just because application is key when it comes to any subject. You might know the content, but you need to look at the type of questions that you need to learn. So I put these in one folder, and then these stickers represent how I feel about them. The number of dots is the amount of time I've revised it, and the colour of the dots is how I'm feeling. So this one was green, whereas as you can see, the first time I did this, I found it slightly harder. It then got easier and easier, and it was feeling confident by the end, hence why it's got a tick on. And this is just what you need to do towards your examination time. Get organised about how many times you revise at different topics, how you feel about them, so you're not just doing pointless revision for the sake of going over it. You're actually going over more times the ones you find harder than the ones you find easier. Now, the final stage to my notes is actually past papers, and when it comes towards the end of your 2 years, you're going to start doing past papers, and it's so important to make sure you keep them organised. I use this little chart just to see which papers I've actually completed and which ones I still need to do, because you'll actually be shocked how easy it is to do the same paper twice and not realise it. I then stuck them all into this big folder, and these stickers are all the questions that I found really hard, so I can just easily flick through them and see which questions I didn't get or that I need to look back over. And I kept them in a book like this, and then I actually ended up with 2 books of past papers. You would be so shocked how many past papers you end up doing, because like I said, application is key. Then the final step to this is actually these little flashcards, and any questions that I found really hard from these and still wasn't getting, it wasn't just a little mistake I made, I needed to actually learn. I put onto a flashcard and wrote out the answer underneath, so I could actually really learn these. Especially with a subject like chemistry, the same questions do keep coming up year by year, so it's so important to make sure you nail where you are going wrong. And also some of the questions are very similar concepts, so you want to make sure you understand every single concept, and I found these so helpful to just have some quick questions on to look over and see where or why I was going wrong. It just means you don't waste marks on getting the same questions wrong every single time. What you want to make sure of is that you get the exact mark scheme answer. So I would be getting this directly from the mark scheme, but because those mark schemes are so specific, you need to get the wording absolutely right, and having them on a flashcard makes it so much easier to learn the exact mark scheme and the exact phrasing that they want. I've explained this before in my 10 things I wish I knew before sixth form video, which if you haven't seen already would be so helpful for whether you are in year 12 or year 13, and it's just got some of my top tips in. But on a day-to-day basis, I did not carry around that big folder. I had one little day folder like this, which would have every single subject in, but just 2 chapters, the chapter before and the chapter that we were studying. And at the front I would put all of my homeworks for any subjects that I had, so they were really handy to get in class. And then I would just have dividers dividing up each subject, so I could just get out my notes really easy, and I wasn't wasting my time carrying around a huge bag filled with everything and all of my notes, which you literally just don't need. So that is the end of today's video. It was just a really fast explanation of how I organised my notes for sixth form, and I hope it's encouraged you to get organised. Like I said, the most important thing is to stay on top of your notes and your revision resources, so it doesn't seem overwhelming at the end, and you can just do it bit by bit as you go along, because organisation for sixth form is key. You want all of your notes and revision resources to be organised so you can understand them, and you just need to worry about learning the content at the end and not faffing around organising. And you are going to thank me so much when it comes to the end of the 2 years that you can just get revising and get your head down. And trust me, this system works. It is so easy to follow, and if you have any more questions at all, then please leave them in the comment box below and I will get straight back to you. And I hope you found today's video really helpful, and if you did, then please give it a big thumbs up, and I will see you all all so soon in my next video, everybody. Bye.